Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher, Tommy Lazaridis, and special guest from Villa on Tour, Owen Thompson, to talk about the preseason tour of America and to look forward to the season ahead. So join us after this. All right, so the Villa lads are back from the USA. We ended up with 2 draws and a win. Since the last time we spoke, we beat Fulham and drew with Brentford 3-3. We weren't lucky enough to get the trophy. Unfortunately, Chelsea did win that last game and knocked us off top spot. But I think overall we got everything out of it we wanted. We saw the new signings. The team seems to be gelling quite nicely from what I saw. And I'll go to you first, Owen, because you're our special guest.
Yeah.
You obviously watched those matches and got the feedback from Max and Simon, who were over there, of course, and at the games. It looked amazing in the vlogs. What's your feeling going into the new season, and how do you think the team's gelling?
Well, I got to experience how you lot do it on a match day, having to stay up till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to watch these matches. I think the Fulham game got delayed by ages because of the storms and stuff in the area. As for the football itself, I come away with no real concerns or issues. Yes, we didn't necessarily win the tournament, but we didn't lose. We scored plenty of goals. We played some really good football, and we've come away with no one being injured, I don't think. So I see it as a positive. And especially the Brentford game, I thought we played some of our best football, especially in the first half. It was weird going 2-0 down, but that's why you don't take these pre-season tournaments too seriously because, well, yeah, it's just anything can happen. There was goals in almost every game, like loads of goals in every game. I think there was about 15, 16 goals in the first round of 3 games. So, yeah, I take positives from it, and then we've got a couple more left before the season starts.
That's right. Yeah, we got Lazio on Thursday night UK time, and then Valencia on Saturday. So be interesting to see what we do there with 2 games so close. So I'm sure we'll see a couple of different squads for those games. But Noah, who do you think are the big winners and losers from this preseason tour? I mean, I guess the obvious one is Jadon Philogene. He's I don't know what happened to the Bidase. Has that gone now, or are we just? It's just Philogene, I think. So. It used to be Philogene Bidase. I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's certainly staking a claim for a starting spot against Newcastle first game of the season.
Well, definitely Philogene Bidase is the number one standout, or Philogene. I'm a bit confused with that too. But he's definitely like one that's probably cemented a spot, at least on the bench for sure this season. I'm not sure if he's going to start or what the go's going to be. There's a lot of youngsters that can take plenty of positives from it. Like if you look at the Warsaw game and even the American Tour, Kellyman just one that again springs to mind that had a couple of big moments in the first game. I think he played really well. But honestly, just what Owen said, no injuries, no complaints from me. I think everyone kind of got minutes in the legs, and we'll see what happens over the next 2 preseason games before Newcastle.
Definitely. And I was really impressed, Tommy, with Diaby from what I saw. And we didn't see him much. He came on against Fulham, scored the goal. Nice little finish there. And then I thought his goal against Brentford was even better. It was really composed. Yeah. And you could just tell when he cuts in on that left foot, he's not only got the pace to get in those sort of positions, but he's got the end product and a bit of quality to go with it. So it's great to see.
Yeah, definitely a bit better than Charleston Zogbia, that's for sure, Scotty. I think he looks like a menace. To be honest, I think he's going to be a real menace. Again, it's not one to go off the fantasy football Facebook post, but a lot of them were saying who's going to be the surprise package, and I think Diaby was. Everyone's saying, yeah, you got to have Diaby in your team. He's going to be class, and a lot of people are actually predicting Villa for the top 4, believe it or not, with Emery getting manager of the year. They had all these predictions, and I'd say about Villa was in at least 60% of them. So, but no, I think Diaby is a statement of intent, right? I mean, 24 playing for France. I think there was a Facebook reel on the Villa page when he actually arrived at the club, and there's a lot of synergy. All the players embrace him. I think Kamara's probably happy that he's got another Frenchie in the team. So I think he's a menace. To be honest, he actually reminds me a little bit of Ashley Young. That's the last player who was a constant menace, had end product, could create, contributed to goals where needed, and just had that real, finesse about him. So, I mean, you get what you pay for, right? And at the end of the day, he turned down some big bucks to play for Villa, and pretty surprising these days because you're seeing a lot of players, maybe just at their peak, just past it, chasing a bit of money. So it's actually nice to see him come and want to play for Villa. I'm sure that we fend off some pretty good competition for him. And I think it looks really exciting, to be honest. 24 is a great age. He's nowhere near his prime, and hopefully he can achieve that with us. And we're both on that kind of same trajectory.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a bit about what Tommy touched on there, Owen, with the expectations this season, because last season, I think Villa went under the radar quite a bit. Like, I think a lot of, fans of other teams were like, oh, gee, they got into Europe. Or, it seemed to be like, obviously they knew that Unai Emery turned the team around after Steven Gerrard's departure. But, it seems like we snuck up on a few people. But this year, people are going to think this is a proper team, and, we've got European football as well. So where do you think, likely a realistic sort of expectation of where we could finish in the Premier League this season?
Well, I quite liked that we kept going under the radar. I liked that the media just spent all their time talking about Newcastle and what they were doing, and then they got on the Brighton bandwagon and whatever they were doing. I liked that we kind of just kept creeping up. And then all of a sudden, I think it got to the last week and people were like, oh, actually, they got a point at Liverpool last week. All they need to do is win, and they'll get seventh. I think top four is very, very optimistic. I think the teams that struggled last season, such as Chelsea, and you can probably put Liverpool in there as well, and Tottenham, they could have stronger seasons. I think Chelsea especially are due a much better season than last season. They look very good in pre-season again. They were making sure they won that no problem. Their strikers, they seem to have got a couple in now that really seem to know what they're doing. I think, again, anywhere lower sort of top half, anything 10th to 7th, anything like that, I think is fine. As long as we have a decent run in the Conference League or in one of the cups, maybe. I know we don't join the League Cup till later on round now because we're in Europe. We get to bypass around. We'll still find a way to get United in there, but I'm sure if we can have a good run in that. And then, I know a lot of people on the outside just expect us to win the Conference League as well because West Ham were able to do it seemingly quite comfortably, albeit they had a bit of a challenge in the final, but to get there, that was no problem. If we can get through all of that, and now with no Juventus, then there is every chance we could go and have a go at that as well.
Definitely. I think that, if we finish around where we finished last season, 7th, 8th, that I think that would be a successful season in the league. And like you said, a cup run, if we went deep in the Europa Conference, say semi-finals or better, I think most Villa fans would take that. But it is going to be, a bit of a different season for us, Noah, with, Emery's finally got his players in, he wanted. We've got Tielemans, we've got Diaby, we've got Pau Torres as well, the 3 big signings. He's brought in a few, young kids like Philogene that he likes as well. So he's going to be judged on this season, and I mean, we all love him, and like we think he's going to do well. But let's hope we get off to a good start. And where do you think, Noah? Where do you think we will see the big improvement in the team this year? Like from Emery's tactics. I mean, we saw the 3 at the back thing against Brentford, which is like a hybrid. Do you think we'll go into Newcastle with that sort of formation?
I don't know. I think it's just good to have, I guess, different plans for different teams. Not every team's going to play the same, to be able to adjust mid-game or pre-game, depends how you're going to attack or whatever. I think it's something that Emery's very strong at. So I think it's going to be like, I don't know. I think obviously a lot of pressure on Diaby. There's so much pressure on him because obviously the price tag's never easy to overcome. But I also think someone like an impact player off the bench, like a Leon Bailey, he's got a point to prove. Now he's got like proper competition for his spot. He's no longer, I guess, starting or anything. So I think he's got a lot of pressure on him too.
Yeah, definitely. And and also in the midfield, Tommy, there's so many options going through there now that, it's going to be
Tielemans.
Tielemans. We got Kamara, Louise, McGinn, Jacob Ramsey will come back from injury.
Ramsey,
Yeah, so
big Timmy, maybe. You never know, Timmy. No. I just maybe to just go backtrack on what you said. I think the biggest improvement will be in the front third. I mean, Ollie done well, but then he had a bit of a purple patch and kind of drifted off, and midfield were kind of carrying him with some goals. I think front third we're going to be lethal this year. You know, when Emery came in, defense was nice, tight knit. Emmy's Emmy, right? I mean, the guy's basically God between the sticks. Funny enough, actually, I think now the EPL are going to start cracking down on his antics, which I think is BS, right? If you can get an edge over the striker or whatever penalty scenario, why not use it to your advantage? So it's pretty crap that they're putting the clamps down, and it's really just to target him. But yeah, I think front third will be where we look lethal. I mean, that's where most of our investment went in so far. I think Philogene almost like signing a $20 million player. And, you know, being realistic, he's young, he's hungry. I think he's actually ahead of Bailey. He's both feet, he's attacking, he's got a lot of energy, good brain, and he actually tracks back. He's got a very good work rate. So I think, you know, front third will be where we're lethal. I think Philogene's probably first sub, if not potentially starting some games.
That's definitely where I see it too. Yeah.
Tommy's predictions, Scott. I'll quickly Tommy's predictions. Ollie Watkins has till December, and I think we'll shell out on a big striker if he doesn't have at least 10, 11 goals by then.
Well, last season you said he'd be out the team by Christmas.
It was him or Stevie G. It was one of the two. I was close.
So Owen, what did you think about the sort of the hybrid back three, back four situation we saw against Brentford, where Matty Cash was pushing up on that right hand side? Do you think we could go down that road this season, or do you think like Noah that it's going to be sort of opposition based?
Yeah, I think it might vary depending on the opposition. I also think we tried to, because we've now got 4 solid, comfortable centre halves, that we're just trying to work out what's best for us. I think we might change it up as the games go on, because I think he prefers it more if we go the other way, and I think he might start looking at throwing Konza at right back when Moreno's fit, and we kind of do exactly the same, but on the other side. I know he's got a lot of time for Moreno. It was his first signing. So I guess we tried to do it on the other side, and it seemed to work. I think Torres played a bit more of a full-back sort of role, or at least he was on that left-hand side, and he didn't seem to have any issues. It could work, yeah. I think it could certainly work, and it will keep all 4. You'd hope all 4 of the centre halves happy if they're all getting some minutes out there as well.
And talking about Konsa, Noah, what a goal! I can't believe we haven't touched on this yet, but he just he did his best Maradona impression there and just took the ball off. And then, it seemed like the seas parted like Moses, and he just kept going. And all of a sudden, he was in the penalty area and putting in the top corner. What an amazing strike!
Well, I think I meant to say Alan Hutton there, Scott.
Yeah,
because I was having flashbacks to that.
I was waiting for someone to say it. I was waiting for it.
And like, obviously, being at that Blues game, it was my first ever Villa game. I just had instant flashbacks to that moment. So yeah, what a goal! Yeah. I mean, put him up the field, put him up front, clearly. But yeah, no, that was unbelievable.
It was a great goal, and it wasn't the only good goal in that game. There was plenty of good goals, a couple from Brentford as well. So it's good to see. We're getting this kind of recognition, Tommy, in places like America. We were of course all in the Australian preseason tour last year, had good support there, and it just looked like from the Villa on Tour videos that there was a really good atmosphere at the pubs, and everyone is sort of, it just shows what a big club we are, that, worldwide we've just got this following, and, everyone seems to come out and travel from all around the world and all around America for these games.
I think people forget, Scott, you touched on it, right? Like, people forget how big of a club Villa actually are. When you kind of rewind back to the early days of football inception, yeah, there we are. So, I mean, you'd hope we have a big following given how long we've been around. But yeah, look, definitely brings back a lot of memories. Spill and they didn't come down to Australia again. Would have been great to see all the lads. But yeah, look, based on a few, I've got a few mates in the US, actually. One's a Villa fan, so he was buzzing. He actually flew down from Canada to go watch the game. So he was just saying atmosphere was electric, and like you said, you just rally with all your locals from your country and you go and support your club. It's probably the closest thing we could get to going to watch a Villa game, especially with those bloody international ticket prices hiking up. But,
absolutely.
It's just a buzz all round, to be honest, right? Like, 2 a.m. I used to get up at 3 a.m. to watch Villa fucking lose to Wigan. on a Sunday morning. So it's nice to get up and watch them win and actually compete. I mean, let's be real. The teams we're playing, these are good teams competing, stealing points off the big teams. That, they fielded almost a full squad. Brentford, all right, no Tony, he wants to put his punts on, that's on him. But, they fielded a good lineup. And, we could have easily, if that was Gerrard or someone, I'll bring in the youngsters. And I still felt that, within by halftime, whatever it was, 2-2, like we took it to them, right? And to actually go up. It's just that resilience now we have with Emery and belief, right? So
yeah,
it's exciting. We're never saying never. Playing Newcastle's not easy either. It's going to be an interesting first game. I think we could potentially beat them. And like Owen said earlier, right, we flew under the radar, but I think the general consensus from every Villa fan was, wow, what could we have done if we had Emery from the start of the season? So this is a blank canvas this season. I think there's still maybe a signing or two to come in. I think we're talking about right back. I think we're linked with that Levante right back. Mark Pugil is only like 5 million, but that seems to be the key area to strengthen. I think if Digne potentially goes, which he probably will, I think he's one of the highest earners, and no, he's probably not worth it. Let's be real. I think we might bring in a backup left back for Moreno, just given his little track record with injury recently. But again, maybe Torres can be a makeshift left back. I think Konsa maybe even play at right back. Emery's got some wonky systems, and they seem to be working.
So, Owen, so have you heard from Simon and Max at all about some of their highlights of the trip? How did they find the atmosphere and the kind of the excitement over there in America?
I think they were kind of surprised by it. I know they came back yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think they slept most of the day, so I didn't really get much out of them. But yeah, from what I could see on the videos and stuff and what they were sending me, there was a lot of, I think they were a bit thrown back to see, like you said, how massively supported a team like Villa is in America. And you get people coming from all corners of the world and America to watch us. I think there was some good numbers in some of the stadiums as well, which is always good to see. And so, yeah, I think they were quite pleasantly surprised by it, actually. And you could tell by some of the footage in bars and stuff outside around the stadium that they thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think they enjoyed meeting loads of people. And I know they met some quite big American Villa fans out there as well. So, yeah, I think they had a brilliant experience.
Yeah,
was Tom Hanks at the game? Does anyone know?
No idea.
No, I didn't see him. No. And I mean, you've got, of course, European football to look forward to this year. Tell me, what are your plans? Are you planning to go to many of these away ties?
Well, yeah, it depends on kind of what parts of Europe they are. I think we're going to do the playoff game that we've got to play at the end of the month, provided, again, it's not something too ridiculous to get to. And then if we get through that, provided we do, which I think we will, we'll look at the group stage games and kind of plan out what's easy to get to, what's not so easy to get to, and then go from there. But yeah, hopefully we can get as many as we can, really.
Yeah, it's interesting with the conference league. You do get some teams from some, faraway places and some smaller nations. So you could be in Iceland or, in, Eastern Europe somewhere. So, it's going to be crazy to see how we match up against these teams, because I think, we think we're going to, pretty much just walk through the group stage, but, no, like these teams can be tough, especially on their home patch. And, I think it'll build the character of the squad to have these sort of experiences. Right. And,
Extra games.
Yeah. And if we do want to be a Champions League team in the future, which the owners keep telling us that's the goal, then, this will be a great stepping stone for us. And I'm really looking forward to getting up on a Thursday night and watching some of these matches. So Noah, we've got Lazio and Valencia, then Newcastle, the first game of the season next Saturday night. I want you to give me your starting 11 for the first game against Newcastle, if everyone's fit. Obviously, Jacob Ramsey's probably not going to be available, but let's take him out. But out of everyone else, who would you go with for the first game?
Jesus, pressure's on.
Yeah.
So obviously your back four, I'll probably go obviously Martinez in goal. Cash at right back. I'm going to go, I think it's going to be like a normal, like just back four. I think it's going to be Mings and probably Torres, I think that's probably what he'll go for with Digne. I'll go Digne at fullback. I think that's what's going to be. I think he's going to at least have a crack at it again while Moreno's out. I don't see him going as like Tommy does. I think he'll stay. I think Kamara, Louise, McGinn, Diaby, Watkins, and Tillemans. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do.
There are a few question marks, Tommy. I mean, obviously, do we stick with Konsa and Mings, or do we bring in Torres? That's probably the one, and then the other one would be, Tillemans. Does he come in, and then what does that mean for John McGinn? Does he get pushed forward a bit, or does he get dropped? Which I think would be kind of harsh considering what I've seen from him in pre-season and last season at the end. So where do you see us going with the first game?
Yeah, I think it'll be Martinez. I think it'll be Konsa right back, Mings, Torres centre back, Digne possibly left back. I still think all four centre backs are going to start, to be honest. I think Digne might even find himself on the bench. I think Mings or Torres could find himself as a makeshift left back, in some weird system.
It'd be like a Man City back four.
Yeah, I think something like that, right. And I mean, Mings and Torres can always alternate, right? They're both naturally left-sided. So I still think maybe it'll either be Konsa, Mings, Torres, Digne, or it'll be Konsa, Carlos, Mings, and Torres. I think Torres will probably find himself on the far left. And then I think midfield three will be Kamara, Louise, and I think it'll be Tillemans with McGinn in an advanced role on the left potentially, with Watkins and what's his name, Diaby on the right. So, but again, it could be a weird one because I know McGinn actually hates being out wide. So I think he'll probably alternate. It'll be something in between the furthest out of the three between Kamara, Louise, Tillemans. Him and McGinn might even alternate. But I know they've got some good synergy already based on pre-season. So. Anyway, we'll go for Arnold's predictions.
What do you think, Owen? Do you think that sounds about right? Or
I'm as tall as everyone else is on the back four. I don't know how we're going to do it. I have no idea. I think he'll go with Cash. I think it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if he just stuck with his last season's back four with Mings and Konsa. Whether he tries and throws Torres in there, I'm not too sure. It's hard to say, really. We don't see what they see in training. I think, which none of you have mentioned, I think he'll go with Buendia over Tielemans. I know Buendia had, I can't remember which game it was. I think it was the first one, and he absolutely lit it up.
Yeah, 2 goals.
Blitzed it. Yeah,
he was a bit horrid at Warsaw, and so I think he'll go with. I couldn't tell you the back four. My guess is as good as anyone else's. It's completely in the air at the moment, but I think he'll have Kamara, Louise, McGinn, and Buendia, and then he'll have Diaby and Watkins. I think McGinn had so much space, especially in the Brentford game. The amount of times there was balls fizzed to him, and he was just driving through. I think McGinn has a huge role to play again this year. Again, I think he goes under the radar a little bit. McGinn, I think Villa fans love him, or at least he's had his moments, but he's definitely come back into his old self under Emery. And then I think he'll go with Buendia personally.
Yeah, I've seen some really good
on the bench.
I've seen some really good signs from McGinn in the preseason. Like, just he looks fit. He's running with the ball. He's turning people. He's driving forward, and I think when he's doing that we're in a pretty good position normally. So I mean, that's about it, guys, for this week. Yes, we're going to obviously come back next week for another Coop De Villa episode. Thanks so much for all your support, and please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we drop a video. We're also on Spotify if you like to listen to us there, so please go over there and give us a follow. Owen, it's been great having you on. Sorry,
go on, Scotty.
No, go.
I was going to say maybe to all those commenting, a wonderful contingency of fans now tuning in. Maybe throw in your potential starting lineup, right? Any X factors?
That's it. Yeah, let us know who you would start and who's pushing for a starting place against Newcastle in a week or so. But we'll be back with a preseason preview. So next week we're going to do all our predictions, the top four, the top goal scorer, who's going to be the sneaky team, who's going to be the disappointment, all that sort of stuff. So you can let us know in the comments your top four, where you think Villa will finish, of course, the top goal scorer in the league, all that sort of stuff. Maybe Villa's top goal scorer too. let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And thanks again, Owen. It's been great to see you. And we will be back next week. Catch you later. Up the Villa.
See you later, guys.